Hello, everyone. My name is Tiffany Bell, and I am excited to be able to introduce you guys again to the CEO Corner. If this is your first time tuning into the show, here at the CEO Corner, our goal is to interview women that are not only CEOs, but women that have decided that they're going to do something of influence and impact in the communities in which they live in, the communities in which they serve in. And so we've had a wonderful time over the past few months, being able to interview and introduce you to women again that are doing some really, really great things. And so today's a little different in that we're going to do a tour for the next upcoming few episodes that you'll see. We have some individuals that are a part of Tina Ramsay's podcast called her podcast network is called CTR Media Network. And so she has an array of both male and female podcasters on her network that again are doing all that they can in order to help build their communities one show at a time, again introducing individuals like you to people that again they're just doing really great things. So when you're looking to be educated, when you're looking to be inspired, when you're looking to be encouraged, you want to tune in to the CTR network media network, because you just don't know, you never know, the individuals that you'll have an opportunity to connect with and the info that you will learn. And so again, today we got two people that are part of the network that are coming on. So very, very excited for you to learn a little bit about them. So first up, we have Ms. Nima, right? So Nima, she is known as the Queen Candy Podcast. So her podcast comes on a couple of times a week. Again, on the CTR Media Network, she teaches men and women in the Muslim community to have faith in Allah. She's really good at, again, helping to teach individuals about the foundational principles that are upheld within the Muslim community. She teaches them to not only learn about these principles, but to uphold them, but to practice them. And then, of course, the goal is that they would just grow in their faith. And so I'm so excited again to be able to introduce you to Miss Nima. She again is the Queen Candy. All right, come on up to the show here. All right, so excited to have you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
No problem, no problem, no problem. So, before we jump into the actual podcast portion of today, right? I know that our listeners are going to want to know just a little bit about Queen Candy. So, and again, now just right from the giddy up, they've heard me mention two different names, right? Names. I would love for you, tell us a little bit about you, but then also, go into why we have two names. Okay.
Yes. Hello everyone. We are the Queen Candy Podcast. Short, quick bio. Was born in Georgia, grew up in Florida, started doing music and acting, small things here and there. Um, Original name was Lashika before we started learning Islam. And after we accepted it and believed it, we had to change our name to a righteous name, which is now Manima Muhammad. And we have those two different names because we have to, kind of keep them separate a little bit. But on our show, we definitely talk a lot about the Muslim community and Allah and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who we all believe in, and our lifestyle principles and beliefs that we've learned, and we teach to the best of our ability.
Very good, very good. So, all right. So you said that you were introduced. I'm assuming so you were not born into this faith. This is something that at some point I'm assuming that you were introduced to. Do you remember the transition? What was that like for you?
Well, actually, he just walked in the door. Our husband introduced us to Islam
Okay,
and
okay.
Allah and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And to be honest, the transition wasn't really hard for us because we knew the lifestyle we were living and we weren't going down a good path at
Okay.
all. And
Okay.
the transition for us was easy because we just didn't want to die. We didn't want to get dead and we wanted to live. And that's one of the other things we talk about on our show.
Okay. All
So
right.
we
So
credit our husband a lot for, he doesn't require us to do it, but he we give him a lot of credit for saving our life and introducing us to a lot. So,
Gotcha. So when you say us, who's us?
us and a lot. We always say we, us, ourselves. We never say the word I, me, my, none of that. We always never alone. So we
Okay.
always mention a lot whenever we speak.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Again, this is my first time honestly having a candid conversation, so to speak, with someone of the Muslim faith. Now, I have a brother who has decided to accept the Muslim faith, but unfortunately, I love my big brother. We have not been in a place to where we can communicate on a regular basis, and so I've always been curious about certain things. So I'm like I'm learning a lot and excited again to learn more. So, when you're not on the podcast, right? What is it? What do you do full time? What do you do when you're not interviewing individuals for your show?
Oh, it's boring. We a housekeeper. We clean rooms every day and give towels, change sheets. So it's honestly very boring.
Oh, but that's hard work, though. That's hard work.
It is.
I had a good friend of mine, my friend Melissa, several years ago. She opened up a business, how cleaning homes, and she did some residential and she did some commercial work. And I just remember, like, it wasn't easy. It's not easy. Not and I have got to say, my mama, every day when I was a little girl, my mom and my aunt, that's what they did. Actually, a lot of the women that I grew up with, they clean houses for a living. And my family, I feel like my mom, she made pretty good. She made pretty good money. And the thing is that they had regular clients, right? And so she could be, because she'd done it for so long, she could be very choosy on the clients that she would pull in. And of course, back then, you might have the same client for like 10, 15, 20 years, the same
Right.
one family that they served. And so I do remember that my mom was served the Jenret family. That's the last family before she went on to the Lord, went home to heaven. Um, so let me ask you. You said you're in Georgia. You said
No, actually, we are in Gary, Indiana now,
okay. All right, Michael
not far
Jackson.
from Chicago.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, how let's talk a little bit now more so about yours. Let's go into the specifics about your podcast.
Okay.
So how do you go about do you interview individuals? Do you look for people to come on to your show? Or is it more you guys are teaching the individuals that are listening? Is it mainly just you and your husband that are doing the show together? Tell us a little bit about your format.
Um, a little bit of everything. We've had our
Okay.
husband on a couple of episodes. We do interviews.
Mhm.
We do solo shows as well. So we never plan anything. Just like you, we never write anything down. We
Okay.
just play our music because
Mhm.
we run a record label with him as well. So we play our own instrumentals on the show. And while we're doing that, we're saying like, okay, we gotta get a topic like in 4 minutes. So we're trying to figure it out. And sometimes it comes off the top of our head. So it's never planned, but it's a little bit of everything.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just kind of flows. So
Okay. So, um, I guess my next question, when it comes to like actually, like it's the study habits that you guys have as far as being able to get the content right, and I think that this would be true no matter what religion you're in. you know there is the you have to be invested into whatever religion it is that you practice, right?
oh yeah,
And making sure, especially when you've taken on the responsibility of being able to teach other individuals, that whatever it is that you're teaching, that is not necessarily something that you're delivering your own message, mind you, but you really are delivering the message of whomever it is that you are, and in your case, Allah, being inspired by. So, kind of tell me a little bit about how spiritually, how is it that you receive, how are you inspired, how are you led each day, regardless if we're talking about teaching for the individuals on your podcast, but just in your day-to-day life, like what does it look for you guys spiritually, that people like myself who've had very little, exposure, to help us kind of, bridge the gap. A lot of times people, when they're not
Yeah.
familiar with things, they're afraid of it. What I'm saying, and
Oh yeah.
this is a great time to share the world.
Well, to be honest, we start out every morning, and it has to be before sunrise with prayer.
Okay.
We have to pray 5 times a day.
Okay.
That's basically our protection,
Okay.
from Allah. And we study what we call our wisdom, and
Okay.
we have what we read is the Holy Quran, for those that don't know. And we also read the Bible, but we read certain quotes and scriptures
Okay.
out of the Bible. Muslim women, we have to, as you can see, have our head covered at all times. We're not allowed to expose our hair um,
To the public, correct?
to the public. Right
All
at
right. But if
home, you
you're
can,
at home,
yeah, you do you, you do you at home. Out in public, we don't wear any uh, nails or makeup or anything like that. We do wear jewelry, so on and
okay.
so forth. And
Okay.
that
And you have
is,
beautiful skin. Let me just say that.
thank you, thank you. We shower. Oh yeah, we shower every day. We have to shower every day.
Okay.
So yeah, that's important too. So thank you for that. What else was I going to say? My Muslim women, we are practicing modesty,
Okay.
basically, and that's being covered up. We don't know if you've seen any Muslim women, out in public, but you always see them either with a headpiece like what we wear, or with a hijab,
Okay. Okay.
and they have on long Muslim dresses. Everything has to be covered. The only thing you should be able to see is our face and fingertips. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
But that is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach is modesty. Instead of going out half naked, with your breasts and your behind out, and short dresses, which we
She's
used to
being
wear.
real, people. Let me just say that. You heard that. She's being real.
Just and right, if y'all go to our social media, we still have a couple pictures. So we used to dress that way too. So that's just what he teaches. You cover up and you only show your husband wherever you have, not some random guy you just dating or whatever. You
Gotcha.
keep it covered up for your husband. So even when we go to work, we still wear pants and keep our arms covered, headpiece and everything. And that's what honestly it was crazy because it wasn't that was a transition that wasn't hard for us to do either, which
Oh, that's
considering what we used to do,
mhm.
but it wasn't hard. Because we've always been like that. We've always kept ourselves for whoever we were involved with, but now it's definitely a lot different, and our husband is protective in a good way because that's his job as
Mhm.
a Muslim man because he's
Mhm.
a minister as well.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's what we practice modesty,
Okay.
um, honesty.
Okay.
We supposed to be the leader. We don't follow. We don't do what we see a lot of our people do. We stand up. We be a leader, and we teach what we believe in. We don't just keep it for ourselves. And by getting more people to believe, that makes our faith stronger, and that brings us closer together.
Gotcha. 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 So I'm assuming that that right there is the inspiration for doing the podcast to begin with.
That's
So
one of them.
So how did you like even stumble upon the podcast world and decide, you know what, I'm going to start a podcast and this is what I'm going to talk about?
Well, I'm about to get deep real fast, but
Okay.
short story. Lost our father at a young age. Went through child abuse, foster care. Was in the system until we were 18. 2 different times. Domestic violence. Been homeless. Slept in the car with our kids. Been in shelters. Just it was just hard. It was very very hard. It actually got to the point where we tried to commit suicide. Don't forgive us for saying that, but through all that, and just about everyone we've ever came in contact with have tried to betray us or backstab us and tried to keep us from doing what we're doing now.
Mhm.
And we just realized through all that, honestly, because we thought we were a failure, we thought we were nothing, we didn't love ourselves or even feel good about ourselves, but it was just like it hit us out of nowhere one day, like, why are you doing that? You're strong. You got more power than what you realize. You do have a voice. And we always wonder what the definition of a queen really was. And it's not, like we just said, being half naked. You stepping up and you're being a leader. You're showing these ladies you can use your brain instead of your body. And through all that, we just realized we were a queen. And we do have a story. We do have our testimony to give,
Mhm.
and why get all this knowledge and go through what you've gone through if you're not going to help inspire somebody? Like we said earlier, our show reaches a wide range of people now.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we may never meet them face to face, but we just feel like somebody may listen to it and it may save them. They may go tell a friend. We don't know. But that's what, of the many things that motivates us to do our show, is saving people's lives and just letting them know, if you feel like you're a failure, you're looking at living proof that this is what Allah can do. And we never thought we'd be on this path ever in our life. This is actually the happiest we've ever been, to be honest. And now we want to just tell everybody and, just shout it out. Like we stumbling on words, but we want to shout it out and just let everybody know, we still here. And, we're going to keep doing our show. We love doing it. We absolutely love it.
Very good, very good, very good. So, um, we'll come back at the end so that viewers know exactly where to go and tune in. But I have one more question, and then we're going to move on to our next guest, and that is, tell us, how did you come up with the name of the actual podcast?
Oh, the Queen Candy. Well, Candy was actually a nickname we've had since we were a little girl.
Okay.
Our mother gave us that nickname and told us, and Captain Genius forgot the story, so I can't give you the story, but it's a nickname we've always had since we were a little girl, and we just put the Queen with it, and
Mhm.
it just all made sense. So
Okay, got it, got it, got it. It's a reminder that Allah has been with you all of your life.
yeah,
Yeah. So, and I think
definitely.
that's beautiful. Very much so.
Thank you.
Okay. So with that, very quickly, we're gonna circle back around, but tell them again about your work, the name of your podcast, where they can download it, and how they can connect with you on social media. We're gonna do it now. We're gonna do it again at the end of the show, but just so that they'll have a chance, just in case someone has to pop off real quick.
Okay, everyone, y'all can check out the Queen Candy podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube page. Any platform you can hear podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, of course, the CTR Media Network. You just type in the Queen Candy podcast, capitalize it, and you can look us up. And we're looking to do interviews, so we definitely are looking to connect with people and go and keep expanding our show. So y'all check us out.
All righty. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on. So,
Thank
ladies and gentlemen, for now, we're going to prep for our next podcaster again. Um, Her podcast, along with our next guest, they're both a part of CTR Media Network, which is a podcast network that is created and hosted by Coach. Actually, she's a Dr. Tina Ramsay.
you. Yep.
So Tina's a very good friend of mine. I love her. In fact, I have a podcast on the network as well, and it's called Nonprofit CEO. And think for anybody that knows Tina is she just really believes in, again, just encouraging people. She's always smiling. She's always putting her best foot forward, as far as being able to help people be able to take their next step forward. And so
Yep.
CTR Media Network, that's what it's all about. She's brought together a group of podcasters, and equipped us so that we can go out and then spread the message of whatever it is that have been placed on our heart according to what we believe our purpose is as far as connecting and equipping community. So it was definitely a pleasure being able to get to learn and a little bit more about you, Miss Manima. And so for the time being, we are going to take a step back. I'm going to introduce our next
Thank
guest,
you.
and then we're going to circle back again so that the three of us can have a conversation at the end of the show. Okay. All righty. So next up is our next podcaster, and she is a sweet lady. So sweet. Her name is Anna L. Brothers, and her show basically is called Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, also known as Sweet Blessings. It's a weekly podcast for both men and women, children as well. And so, what her goal is to empower, encourage, and inspire people to live a healthy lifestyle. And when she says health, she's focusing really on the whole person. It's physical health, it's mental health, it's spiritual health. It is at the core being. She wants people to be able again to embrace themselves and really live a life that they deserve. So, welcome to the stage with me, Miss Anna L. Brothers. So I think we got you on mute. Let me unmute you so we can hear you. There you go. There you go. There
Okay,
you
I
go.
was going to just say hello and thanks for having me.
So excited to have you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So tell us, how long have you been a podcaster?
Not long at all. I
Okay.
think I'm not going it's going to be less than a year
Okay.
that I
I don't
have
know.
been.
So
I'm
you
a
get ready.
baby. I'm a baby.
Yeah. Well, no, girl. By the time you get around the 1 year mark, like normally by 9 months, you're no longer crawling. You up taking your first steps. So you might actually be running by now. So and
So,
Tina is good at what she does, and so she's not gonna let you fall. So
no,
I
she's
I
not.
know that she's taking real good care of you, very good
Yeah.
care of you. So the name of your podcast, you know what? I don't want to hop into the podcast you said. We're gonna get there. First, let's just talk a little bit about who you are, right? And tell me just a little bit, when you're not interviewing people on your podcast, tell me, just what does life look like? How do you spend your days? How do you, what does life look like?
Well, first of all, I'm a retired school teacher.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yes,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I when I retired from teaching,
Uh-huh.
I wanted to basically start a business, a baking business, and which I
Okay.
did do that.
Mhm.
But COVID hit, and so therefore it kind of slowed down a little bit. But I'm very active. I'm going to tell you that I'm very active. Active in my church. I'm active in my community. I
Mhm.
belong to a sorority,
Oh
in which
wow,
we
what's
just
over?
had our 100th year celebration.
Wait, hold up. Is it blue? What's the
Yes,
name?
blue and gold.
Yes. Okay. So, I don't have a copy of it yet. Yes, Jane. I don't know where a copy of my book is at. It has not arrived, but so did you happen to get a blue version of this book? It's called Affirmations for a Woman on a Mission. So you guys had your 100th centennial edition, right? There's a special blue and gold edition of this book by Dr.
Oh,
She's gonna get me. Dr. Dennis.
Tanisha,
I can't think.
I,
Dr. Dennis. I can't think of
I
Dr. Dennis.
cannot, I'm bad with names too. But
Tendizia. It is
yes,
Tendizia.
yes, I know
Yes,
her. She's a friend
yes,
of mine. Oh my
yes, yes. So she's one of the co-authors in here, and so we did a special edition specifically for your sorority, specifically to celebrate your 100th year anniversary. And I think it has like even the centennial seal on it. And
God.
the
Okay.
forward is written by me and by Dr. Dennis.
Oh my God.
Yes,
And
yes,
I
yes.
stopped at her booth, but I just didn't get a chance to get back. It was so many people there
Okay.
when I went to the centennial. But oh yeah, I'm gonna have to text her now and
Yes,
get that
ma'am.
book.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna have to get that book now.
You need a copy of that book.
I
Yes, yes,
do need that
yes.
because I believe in affirmations. I do. I
Okay,
do one every day. Every day I
okay,
get up and do one
okay,
about it. That's basically how, and then how I got into the jewelry business was my daughter.
okay. All right.
I always dibble. I'm very crafty.
Okay,
Okay. I quilt, I sew. I taught cake decorating, even though I had taught school, I taught cake decorating for almost 15 to 20 years out of Michael's and I had two stores. Both of them were thing, but I'm a certified cake instructor. And
okay,
so that's how I kind of got into the baking
okay,
as well as, and that's how I learned how to cook was baking. I started baking at an early age, about 7 years old. I never wanted to really cook, but I love to bake and I still bake.
okay.
And so, but I think that's about all that I do.
Oh
That's it.
my, listen, honey, you do a lot. You
I,
said
I,
that. You said that. That's about all. I mean, you do a lot.
yeah, I'm busy. I'm really a very busy person. But
Okay.
like you said, Tina encouraged me. She's taken me under her wings and has done, quite a few. Well, we've helped each other out over the course of the years.
That's Tina.
She
Yes,
is
ma'am.
truly, truly both her and her husband. Okay, so it basically, if you really want to know how I got into the podcast,
Mhm.
I was a caregiver for my mom, and my
Okay.
mother had dementia.
Okay.
And what I found out was I did not understand that disease.
Okay.
Even though it was, people talked about it or anything like that. And I found out that through a support group, I got involved with a support group and I found out that as, Black people, we really don't understand dementia. And really and truly, dementia is just the umbrella.
Okay.
There's so many things that happen up under there. You have Alzheimer, you have Lewy body, you have Parkinson disease, and I figured since I didn't understand it, there's a possibility that others didn't understand it. So I took the initiative and I'll tell you how I got into the initiative. God does mysterious things, or you just never know where your path is going to take you for real.
Yes. He has a
And
sense of humor on top of that too.
yes, yes. And so I would take my mom to different activities because, they had activities for the caregivers and the person that had dementia. And at one of these, I joined a choir, and it was called the Sounds Good Choir. It was a choir for caregivers and people who had dementia. And through that choir, I was asked to speak on my journey with my mom.
Okay.
And so I spoke on that. And from that, the hospital, which was Northwestern, they asked me to come and speak. So I've been speaking, I've been on television, I've done
Hmm.
interviews for the Washington Post, I've done it for um, the religious groups on dementia. And I just felt like maybe God was trying to tell me something, that maybe I needed to make the world more aware of mental illnesses out here.
Okay.
And so that is basically how I started, thought about the podcast, and I felt I could reach more people that way. But I had other interests as well, so I wanted to incorporate the whole person. Okay,
Okay.
so I wanted to talk about mental, but I also want to talk about physical because that was good. And in the process of all this, I lost 42 pounds.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I wanted to tell my journey on that
Hmm.
physical. And then the other thing was emotional. We all have emotional, we have stress, we have those type of things. And I felt like I needed to convey people, tell them how they could relieve, or stress is not going to go anywhere. It's going to be here, and so therefore we need to know how to cope with it. Okay, and so that was another. And then healthy. I've been eating healthy, and so I don't deprive myself though. Don't I want to let you know I still eat whatever I want, but I eat it in moderation. And
Yes,
then the
moderation is the key to most things.
yes, it is. And so then the social aspect, um, I thought I could bring in like my crafts and stuff. So, down the road, I've got big aspirations. Because I quilt and I sew and I teach cake decorating, I wanted to incorporate all of that into my podcast as well. And that's why I call it Sweet Blessings, because I feel like I have been blessed. And so if you notice, my dessert thing is Sweet Listings, desserts for all occasions. So that sweet uh, blessings, we all have blessings in our life, and I wanted to be able to share my blessings.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Very good. And I'm assuming that since you really, you are definitely a creative, I'm assuming that whenever you were teaching full time, that you are even creative then, as far as being able to find creative ways to break down complicated things, in a simple way so that your students could not only grasp it, but then but be able to reproduce in whatever it is that you're teaching them. To be able to find a true teacher, to me, it's not always easy. Some teachers, I think some teachers, like, I enjoyed coming up delivering information, but I'm not a teacher. And initially it was my choice. I was going to go to college to become a teacher. Like, after I did like some student teaching for third, fourth, and fifth graders, I would go in and teach them, how to speak Spanish. I was like, nope, I'm not cut out for this. I'm too much of an authoritative type person. I'm too big into the discipline things. Kids need someone that's going to just love and nurture, what's inside of them and help bring that out. So I realized that children really aren't, they're really not my thing. I've learned, you will see Tiffany will not volunteer for anything dealing with children on her church. I will not volunteer to watch your kids. I love them. I love them from a distance.
Well,
But women, on the other hand, I feel
I
like I
have
can see the
I have
heart of
taught
women.
all grades, all people, adults as well.
Hmm.
But my degree is in early childhood, so I taught
Okay,
the
got it.
babies,
Got it, got it.
and
See, I love that. That means you can get on their level. You can get
yeah,
you have
I
no
love
problem getting on the floor and making them just feel as if that you are with them. Yep.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
Me,
yeah.
on the other hand, I'm like, when you finish,
Well, when I
your
finished my quilt,
choice.
because I had them doing uh, stamping on
Uh-huh.
burlap. And
Hmm.
so they made a lot of it. And so believe it or not, I have not put the quilt together. But when I finish it, I'm going to donate that quilt so everyone can see, because my children did it. I just got to put it together and all of
Gotcha,
that. But
gotcha, gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
I
Gotcha,
loved my babies. I loved teaching. And
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So, as far as your podcast is concerned, so tell me a little bit about the format. Is it you primarily, and you're giving most of the info, or do you do some interviews? Tell us a little bit just about how the format of the show kind of rolls.
well, basically, right now, what I'm doing is just giving information or
Okay,
teaching.
okay, got
Okay.
it.
I would like to get into interviewing people.
Mhm,
That's
mhm,
my goal in the
mhm,
future, to
mhm,
interview people.
mhm.
But like I said, I'm new at this. I've only been doing it less than 6 months. So I but I'm looking forward to it. I have candidates. Let's put it
Okay,
like that. I have some
okay, okay.
candidates. So when I get my little self together a little
Uh,
more,
I,
or I
I
feel
don't think
more
you're far.
confident.
I don't think you're far at all from getting yourself together. I'm sure that whatever it is you set your mind to, that you not only hit it, but that you excel in it. So looking forward to being able to
Okay.
see your show one day and see you doing the exact same thing. But you'll be able to handle a panel of people. I can't handle a whole panel. Once we
Oh,
get
I
more
don't
three or
know.
four people, I'm like, okay, this is a little bit too much for me.
I don't know.
Okay, so if I had to ask you, if I asked you, like, what is the most memorable of all the lessons that you've taught, all the things that you've had an opportunity to expose people to on your show, what show in particular was the most memorable for you? What show really kind of touched the inside of your heart, feeling like, okay, I'm so glad I had a platform to be able to deliver this info out because I know that it touched one of my listeners. What, you know,
I'm going to say I did one on self-care,
okay.
because self-care is very important to me. How you feel about yourself
Mm-hmm.
um, really takes on basically your life to
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's okay to make mistakes, because sometimes people have low self-esteem,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to be able to build that self-esteem up. And that's why I chose all of those levels to concentrate on, because they all intertwine
Mm-hmm.
to me. And so
Mm-hmm.
that podcast was long,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt I had a lot to convey on
Very
that.
good, very good. Oh, I love that. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so next question. I got one more question for you, and then we're going to we're going to bring our first guest back on, and then we'll talk a little bit. Just the three of us, as far as the lives and the struggles and the wins of podcasting. I want to kind of come at it from an entrepreneurial aspect. So the last question for you really kind of focuses on. How, like, okay, so I'm kind of curious, when it comes to your teaching with your suites. You talked a little bit about the self-care. You've talked a little bit about your the physical, emotional well-being, but you also say that you talk a little bit about your desserts, right? Did I hear you correctly? Yeah, so I'm kind of curious. How do you slide that in? How do you slide that in? What does that
Well,
look like?
I what I do is I do demonstrations, or I talk or tell them how to do it. I have a separate page for
Okay,
really sweet Listines
okay,
desserts, and I go on and I demonstrate how to do techniques, and
okay,
how to bake. I did give. Let me tell you how I brought it in. I did one on extracts.
okay,
I
okay.
did a podcast on extracts and what you can do with it. Most people think, when they think about extract, they think that they can only bake with it.
Yeah, that's first thing that comes to my mind.
Okay, that's the first
I
thing, but
might
you
put a
can,
little vanilla in my pancakes.
right, you can put it in your pancakes, but you can use it as an air freshener. So I talked about that. That was
Okay,
a really a good one um, that I did. So that's how I kind of brought the baking
okay,
in
okay. All right.
into the thing, telling them that, just because you have this on your, some of that stuff is sitting on your cabinet, in your kitchen cabinet, has been there for years, but you can take it out and do other things with it.
Got it,
Is
got it,
what I
got it, got
tried
it.
to show them. And I mean, I went through the whole thing of, even you could put it in paint, if the paint scent, it bothers you. A lot of realtors use it. They put it on a light bulb, so when they show the house, it smells when you come in. It smells so really, really good and stuff. There's just all kind of things that you can do, and that's what I wanted to be able to do, to show different aspects of different things.
Okay. So much wisdom. I tell you, so much
Oh,
wisdom. Love it, love that, love that, love that. I would never have thought. It makes sense on the light bulb because the heat from the light bulb would definitely cause the aroma to spread. It
but
makes good
you
sense.
can
I'll
use it
remember
for
that myself.
insect repellent too.
Okay. Okay. All
They
right.
don't Bugs don't like vanilla.
Okay, nope, didn't know that. All right, y'all. Hopefully you picking up on these little gems that she's dropping. Very practical things that can be used. So, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Miss Anna. I've enjoyed talking with you. All right, but we're not quite done. What I do want to do from here, I've mentioned a couple of times, Miss Tina, right? So the reason why we're all here is because of Dr. Tina Ramsay. Tina is the founder and creator of CTR Media Network, and she has several people that are on her network that are podcasters. And so today we've been able to meet just a couple of these ladies. But what I'd love for you guys to do, we're going to cut real quick so that I can actually introduce you to Tina. So here's a real quick commercial of Tina. You guys, again, if you don't know her, she's Dr. Tina Ramsay on all social media platforms. You can also check out CTR Media Network on Facebook and on Instagram if you're interested in launching a podcast. Tina does, she teaches you everything that needs to be done from beginning to end. Even with my podcast, I do very little. The only thing that I do, that's the one thing I love about the network, is that, I just hand the episode over to her. She has access to my YouTube channel. She pulls it over and then sends it out. The only thing I got to do is, once she says, "Hey, Tiffany, once your podcast is ready," it's just for me. All I'm doing is just sharing it out on social media. So she makes it so easy. But anyway, I want to make sure you guys can just get here and see a little bit from her. Then I'm going to pull the ladies back and we'll have a conversation from there. So stay tuned for this real quick commercial break.
If you are a business owner or entrepreneur and you're looking for a way to share your mission, your purpose, your products and services literally with the world faster, safer, and easier, making your brand accessible to millions from the comfort of your home, well, I want to encourage you to join our Learn How to Start a Podcast and Monetize It class. Why? Is because this was designed for entrepreneurs like yourself as a platform to provide you with the knowledge in order to not only start a podcast, but successfully launch it. And then the third key, which is helping you to understand how you can monetize your podcast. As you are impacting the world with good, you can also build multiple streams of income from this one podcast and share your story, mission, and purpose literally with the world. So on today, I want you to go ahead and click CoachTinaRamsay.com to join our podcast class today. If you are a business owner.
All righty. Yep. We're having a little quick glitch there, technical glitch. Let's welcome back up to the stage real quick with us, Miss Queen Candy. All righty. So we got all three of you ladies here. We're going to kind of switch gears just a little bit. We're still going to focus on podcasting, but I am definitely curious from you ladies as far as being, entrepreneurs. So, you run a business during the day, and then by night, you're putting on the cape. I'm assuming by night you might be filming your podcast during the day, right? You guys, we all have a few different things that we're involved in, right? I would love to know, one, like how do you maintain, how is it that you're able to stay focused on what you need to focus on? Like, how do you juggle so many different balls without letting anything drop, right? And I think that, we can all just say in general, there are not a lot of people, and I've heard Miss Anna say it several times, she's a busy lady. I think, most of everyone I know, we're all busy. Like, life just seems to be moving at a much quicker pace than what it was 30 years ago when I was a kid. How are you ladies doing it? How are you staying focused? How are you not letting the ball drop? So I'll let you answer that question first, Queen Candy.
Schedule. Keep a schedule. For those that do not know, that's what we do first and foremost. Because it gets so crazy because we're doing podcasts, radio, jewelry, producing, working a full-time job. So it helps us keep balance so we don't sorry about to lose our mind, anything like that. We just keep a schedule and just get up every day like we're a warrior and just keep going because we remember the ultimate goal in the end. And, some days you gotta just encourage yourself and be your own cheerleader. That's the only thing we can say. Yeah, that's about it.
Yes. So basically, if I were going to repeat what I feel like I really heard her say is that the balance comes in managing the details. How do you manage the details? You manage the details by really kind of tracking your time. She's being very intentional about watching where she focuses where she puts her focus, when she actually places her focus there, how long she's going to place her focus there, and then what is the next thing that needs to be focused on. So as she's coming out of one thing and moving to the next, she's very clear on that because
Oh
again,
yeah.
she's put it on the calendar, right? It's a small thing to do, mind you, but it really helps to produce really big
Yep.
results. So with that, I think that's an excellent, very excellent piece of advice. Very good, very good.
Thank
So
you.
Miss Anna, what would you say? How do you maintain balance?
Well,
What would you tell that struggling entrepreneur out there who's like maybe a single mom with kids and a business and a job and all that good stuff?
what I do is I use a planner. I
Okay.
am big on planners, so I jot down everything so that I know what is happening on each day, and I plan monthly. Then
Okay.
I go from week to week.
Hmm.
But another thing, and I did a podcast on this, is a list.
Hmm.
Doing a list, to me, a list is important. You can do a list for anything.
Hmm.
And I prioritize my list.
Hmm.
When I make my list, I put down what I'm going to do first, second, third. I have lists for everything, groceries, errands that I want to do. And it's based upon what I have in my planner. And you got to jot down everything that's going on, when it's happening. Otherwise, you be crazy.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I agree. I
Oh
agree
yeah.
with you.
Oh yeah.
So again, I think this goes back to the principle my friend Trevor he says on a regular basis: what doesn't get measured does not get managed, right? And so whether you are measuring and managing by list taking, by using a planner, by using a calendar, basically again, you guys are being intentional to pay attention to the details. The details matter. They're small things, but all of those small details, they all add up to something really large. And so, I think of, and you ladies might need to correct me on this because I'm not, I know nothing about boats, but just a little bit. I believe that the a rudder on a boat just will make the decision kind of the direction that it's going to go, how far it'll go, right? And so if it's off by the smallest bit, then whenever the ship's captain, whenever he's charting his trail, if the rudder is not adjusted properly, he may want to land over here, but again, if that rudder's off, it's going to take them way over there,
Yep.
and so you got to
I
make
don't know
sure.
anything about a boat. You
Yeah,
probably know
well,
more than me.
I'm pretty sure it's the rudder, but somebody out there in Facebook, social
Is
media land, they'll correct me. So let us know in the comments
yeah.
what that little thing is. But I'm pretty
Please
sure
do.
that that's the thing that determines, and then again, again, what I feel like another concept, another principle that I believe that you guys have both demonstrated is the importance. And again, I'm going to go back to the ship again. Don't ask me where the ship is coming from. The importance of really kind of staying anchored like that. Your calendar, your list, again, is helping you to stay focused on what needs to be done, right? And then when I think about a boat, if you don't put an anchor down, the water is it's moving,
Yep.
right? And so that anchor helps you not to go but so far from the place that where the place that you stopped, right? Again, when you make your list out, when you use that planner, you use that calendar, you're forecasting where you want to go, where you plan on moving, and then you can always go back to that calendar planner and make adjustments, right? But if you don't have the anchor down, you'll end up, again, miles away from wherever it is that you're heading, and not even realizing. When you're on the ship and you look around, all you see is water and blue sky or gray sky, depending upon how the weather is, right? There are no land markers out there for you to be able to say this is north, south, east, or west, right? You can go by the sun or you need a compass. Tiffany, I just need to stay on land because I have no sense of direction. But,
Oh yeah.
it is very important that we stay anchored in the principles that we know
Mhm.
work for us. We got to make sure that we stay anchored in the things that we know that have helped us and guided us, right? Learn the lessons along the way. And not writing things on my calendar. There have been meetings that I have missed, right? Because I didn't take the time to manage details. I didn't take the time out to, do the things that I needed to do in order, to make sure that I was prepared and I could make it to that destination. So love, love, love the points that you ladies have made. Another question for you. Tell me again, curious, as far as the podcasting experience, right? I'm sure that we all had a vision of what podcasting would be like, right? Right, going into it, looking at it from afar. Now you're in it, right? Kind of tell me the difference between what you expected and what you actually experienced. And of course, you may have been experiencing, you may have expected everything to be just rainbows and bubbles the whole time. Wonderful if that is the case. Again, I think that would be a great reflection of just how really good Tina is. But then life does happen, mind you. And so I'd love for you guys to kind of just share a little bit about your experience on that end. And whoever would like to go first, feel free.
Um, when we started out doing ours, we weren't really taking it serious.
Mhm.
It was more so a hobby,
Okay.
and we kind of just did an episode here and there every now and then because we didn't really realize the worth and pushing ourselves behind doing our show. And since coming to Indiana and doing our whole 360 and changing our life, we realized that it was a platform we could use, and we didn't know we could make money. And that's not, call us silly, but that's not really our ultimate goal. We know that's going to happen along the way, but what we expected, and the main thing that helped was connecting with Tina in the CTR Media Network. Honestly, the past couple months, getting on different platforms has helped our show grow. So this is actually the most and the furthest we've gone with our show. So we're excited to see what's going to happen. And what really did it was pushing ourselves to put ourselves out there more and to connect with people. So everything happened the way we did not expect it to happen because we didn't know any of this would happen. But we're not mad at all. We thank Allah always, and we just excited to see what's gonna happen next. We've been able to connect with great people and network and just get our whole mission and message out there. So it's been some we did expect, a lot we did not. So it's been a little bit of both on our end.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. All righty. Tell
Well,
us your
I'm
side
gonna
of
I'm
things.
gonna be honest with you. I you might not believe this, but I was kind of shy. I
You're
know
right.
that everybody says that gives me that look, okay?
Yes.
But how I, even though I taught school and I could go in front of children and give my presentation, I did not like going live. And
Okay.
so what I did was, and this is how I basically met Tina, was going through some live challenges to build up my confidence so that I could go give presentations and get on Facebook. I don't know, it was something about Facebook or being on the social media platform that I felt uncomfortable about it. And so I don't feel that way now, though. I just want to let you know.
She done
And
That's
so
came
good.
out of her shell.
I know.
Yes.
So I think that what that did was it gave me the confidence to pursue the podcast. I always had a desire to do one. I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. But I always had that desire. I don't know. I can't mute it for y'all. I'm sorry.
It's all right. You're fine. You're fine.
So, but I think it's a challenge. It's not an easy thing. I'm I want to interview, but I'm scared. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if I could be like you and
No.
do that interview. I'm working on that. That is one of the things that I am
Okay, no, I
working.
so for me it's the opposite. So you will not go on the CEO corner and find me talking by myself ever, right? I don't feel like I have as much content on the inside, right? So I'm not real big on, I'm not a big conversationalist, even though here I'm just asking questions, I'm nosy. So I use my nosiness as an advantage. I need to ask certain questions, right? So that's how that works out. But in general, if you and I were to meet, if you ladies, if we were to meet anywhere in public, I would be very polite. I would say hello, hello, how are you doing? After that, we might not talk much at all. I am truly an introvert. I am an introvert. I am an introvert. I do understand the purpose though. Like I know that my purpose in life, and I really think that this is the same purpose, really honestly, for everybody. I am first to connect people to God. I am secondly to connect people to people, and I'm to connect people to resources. Everything that I do is running through those. I'm doing those three things, right? So the tool in which that happens could be the CEO corner. That could be the tool, could just be me opening the door at Walmart as you need to walk in, so that you meet a warm face, right? That tool could be, having a true heart to heart conversation because you're having an issue, right? Whatever that tool is, the tool could just be my job. Full time, I work in the nonprofit industry. I help connect nonprofits with volunteers, volunteers with nonprofits. I help them grow their boards. I help them grow their fundraising strategies today. All those are just tools because I'm always going to do what? I'm always connecting people to resources, people to God. The most important way I think, as far as how all of that's done, is really just in my willingness to open my mouth. Though there are plenty of times that I would rather just revert to a corner and not say much. But naturally, it's after a few words, I'm pretty much done, right? But I do know that in this context, I have to let whatever however I'm being led internally, I have to let that flow because it's not so much about me, but it's really about the people that he has set for me to be able to reach, however that flows, right? So with that, whenever you get ready to start interviewing people, again, the same thing will happen. Like when you're exercising inside of your purpose, you follow me? There'll be a
Yeah.
flow there. There'll be
Oh,
a
yeah.
flow. There'll be a flow, right? And you just tap into that flow, and again, and truly, 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 truly believing that this is the thing that he has called me to do. And I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be very sensitive because again, I don't want to be disrespectful at all. Queen Candy. So I'm trying to be careful in how I verbalize all of this. And again, I'm transparent. I can't I can't,
Yeah.
I'm not good at meshing my words, you know what I'm saying? And so I
We're
do
the same
again.
way.
Okay.
We're the
Yes.
same way. We antisocial, like y'all wouldn't even believe, and you wouldn't see that with the way we talking now. But like on a job, like if you don't walk up to us, we'll say morning or whatever. But we're the same way. We are introvert. We stay to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But and just to say, sis, we still get nervous when we do interviews or we do certain shows and stuff. So we just kind of just get in and start talking. Even if we stutter, we don't even care. We just keep going.
Just
So
keep it going.
Just keep
yeah, you have to. So it's when people get around us, we still want people to be themselves. Our only job is to teach. So we're not here to judge or condemn anybody. So anyone we may come across and meet, even if it's for a little brief conversation, be you.
be That's it.
Do
Be,
you. So that's all we say. We're not here to
be you.
Yep,
yeah,
yep, yep.
do
And I
any of
think
that.
people will feel that. I think
Yeah.
that natural, people will feel that. They'll feel your hospitality. They'll feel your genuineness, you know what I'm saying? And you'll help them to relax. Like immediately, I have to tell y'all, soon as I came in, once I realized today before we started filming, soon as I came into the room and I realized that Queen Candy was sitting there already, right? And she smiled just like she's smiling now. And I was like, oh, you're in here. I had no idea. Her smile just like, it calls me to relax. Just calls me to relax. And then Miss Anna, when you came in, you did the same thing. Like again, you'll just connect with the people that are that you are to connect with for that moment. And in that moment, you'll have what you need. And I believe that, in everything that I do. And then when I don't, it's because my focus is, somewhere else. I'm really focusing on all the cannots. But I just have to be intentional to take my mind and focus on the cans. You know what I'm saying? And so, those affirmations, you find some affirmations, that help to build your mind up
Mhm.
so that you believe that you can. And then, as you get in life what you focus on. You focus on what you can, do not focus on what you cannot. I promise you, next thing we know, you're going to be you're going to be interviewing Queen Candy next time around.
Yeah, please. Let's do it.
Okay,
And
all right. So
just
with
be
that,
yourself. Just be
yep,
yourself.
just be
Yeah.
yourself.
And
Okay.
yeah, please, let's do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
See, you got your first guest right there. I done got
I
you.
see. And we live close. I live close to her.
Okay.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yes, yes. I'm in South Holland, Illinois.
Oh no, you're not that far at all. We're
I
in
know.
Maryville.
I was
No.
shocked.
That's interesting. All right. So
That's
I can't believe
crazy.
you've been on for an hour. So I told, so audience wise, I was like, oh, we're probably going to be on 35, maybe 45 minutes. Here we are, an hour later again, because it's just very comfortable. And these ladies are just very easy to talk with. And so I appreciate y'all. Before we close out, I want to give you both time to one, tell our audience, how they can connect with you, remind them about the name of your podcast, remind them of the purpose of your podcast, right? And then how can they follow you? And if you have anything coming up, a specific episode, anything at all, again, this is your opportunity to go and do a full 1 minute commercial on all things
All
your
right.
platform. Okay. All right. So with that, I'm gonna let you go. There you go. She already pulled you up.
Okay, y'all. So once again, y'all can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Queen Candy Podcast. Y'all can also check us out on iHeartRadio, Spotify, of course, Anchor, Good Pods. Can't forget the CTR Media Network. Y'all can check us out on there as well. And like we were saying earlier, our whole mission is to teach about Islam in the Muslim community and to help our people, to give our story of what we've gone through and the mistakes we've made, and to hopefully inspire and lift someone up, and to just be a leader. We are looking to continue doing interviews, so we're definitely looking to connect with like-minded people that love to talk and love to conversate and give their stories and whatnot. So yes, we have some great things coming up. Working on some stuff I can't say right now, but we're working on some things that's gonna be coming up. So y'all follow us and y'all can keep up, and we will follow you back. And we're looking forward to connecting.
Okay. Well, you can follow me on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on Anchor, Spotify. My podcast is Sweet Blessings. And I also have the Jazzy Jewels Collection.com. You can, and I also have a page on the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast as well. So please look me up and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.
Yeah.
Very good, ladies. Y'all have done a wonderful job. I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you, getting to know you like really, Miss Tina. Tina, I think you guys could hear Tina earlier. She said, "Oh, they're so." I said, "Oh, they're so sweet." She's like, "You'll see, they're really good people." So again, it's been a pleasure connecting.
Oh,
So with
good.
that, we're going to sign off. For those of you who are still on with us, again, we've enjoyed being able to introduce you to Miss Anna and to Queen Candy. Again, their podcasts can be found on CTR Media Network. Got to look down the logo, make sure I don't call Tina's platform out. I also have a platform. I also have a podcast there. It's Nonprofit CEO, for anybody out there that has a nonprofit and you are wanting to learn how to build a sustainable nonprofit. You want to make sure, again, go to CTR Media Network. You'll see all of the podcasts that we have produced out so far. And just like these other ladies mentioned, Spotify. I'm terrible about all the different platforms. There's just a lot. Go to CTR
Yeah,
Media Network and it'll send you where you need to go. And you'll also
everywhere.
discover another whole list of just really great podcasts, for a variety of different interests. So CTRmedianetwork.com CTR Media Network. Dr. Tina Ramsay, thank you so much for introducing me to these ladies and
You.
connecting us.
Thank
You.
you for having us.
See you
Thank
all
you.
next time, okay? Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right.